Let me tell you the story. I was coming home sick from work one day. I was walking through Steiermark, Old Town Square. I was sick with the bronchitis, on the antibiotics. Half out of my mind, I was so sick. And suddenly I heard this sound. It was something like, I don't know, like Lord of the Dance with a little bit of Metallica put in. I don't know what it was.
Is that why we remember you dancing up to us?
That was probably it. It was the Lord of the Dance part. Yeah.
You can jig.
Yeah, it was a jig.
Impressive. I thought you were Irish.
Well, pretty close. Irish, Scottish, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They mix.
Yeah, they do.
And I saw these guys, and I was like, I pulled out my business card and said, guys, you have got to be on the first Don Hall show, if there is a show. And at that point, we didn't have a place to meet. It was only a dream. And God, that was like, what, 5-6 months ago?
That was in June.
Yeah. And here it is, a reality with all these wonderful people watching on the YouTube. Wow. Guys, I'm going to go totally off script with this. That music, your new album, Shades of Ire, we have here tonight. Actually, we have 3 copies autographed for 3 special people tonight before they finish. But this album, wow. When I hear it, I hear bits of gypsy music. I hear bits of like Irish jigs. I hear Metallica. I hear everything in there. Tell me, how do you describe your music?
So right now we're going with gypsy fusion.
Gypsy fusion.
This was always the $1 million question, or
yeah.
for us maybe the 10 crown question. But we were asked, what style of music do you play, and we decided on gypsy fusion. Now we know it's not traditional gypsy music.
Yeah.
But because there's sort of a fusion of everything, the one thing that holds true for us is that we've traveled a lot. And we've always tried to allow the different cultures of wherever we've gone sort of influence this music. So you mentioned Ireland and Rivers.
Yeah.
We lived and spent time in Dublin.
Really? In Dublin?
Yeah.
Well, here's a question. I've got so many questions for you guys. I'm going to go off script, though. Let me first ask you.
Go slow because I'm French. So
like, I'll go slow because you're French, but I'm an American. We are slow. Just in more ways than one. Let me ask you guys a question tonight. I saw you guys busking on the street. So tell me, how do you go from busking on the street to having 2 fabulous extended play albums? Tell us the story. I mean, where did you guys start at? How did it start?
Like the band started originally in New York.
New York,
yeah,
okay.
Like me and Bennett met in New York.
Uh-huh.
So we were both we were just both have like different job and stuff.
So what was your job actually?
My job?
Yeah.
I was working at a hedge fund.
So, whoa! So let me get this straight, okay? You quit your job at a hedge fund to follow a dream.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yes,
this is when crazy meets cool. This is good.
I remember the first day, he and I, the first place we left, we quit our jobs. He was working, actually, he was managing a really nice upscale French restaurant.
Uh-huh.
So,
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
In New York City.
In New York City, yeah.
I saw you on Sex and the City. I saw Samantha was at that place,
That's
yeah.
right.
No, that wasn't it. No, okay. It was a different restaurant.
No, it was the same restaurant. So he was working in New York, and we both, actually the first place that we went was London. And I remember the very first night that we were in London, we went to a little place in the center of town in Soho.
Yeah.
It was called Spice of Life. And it was the first night we played, and we told everybody, a week ago we were still working on our jobs. We just quit them and decided to come here and play for you guys.
No way.
And the whole audience just kind of looked at us like, oh my God, you guys are nuts. And the first question I got for like the first month was, well, what do your parents think?
And what did they say? Wait a second. Mom and Dad, is this like the coming out night of the hedge fund finish?
Yeah, this was it. When I told them, it was quite special because they came to New York. My sister also studies there. Uh-huh. And so they came to New York for Mother's Day, and we played a concert that night, and it was sort of like, yeah, Mom, by the way, I'm gonna sell my apartment and leave. And, you know, I was kind of, I was like, no, seriously. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and it's done. And, you know, Dad was kind of like, I don't really care what you do. In fact, he was encouraging, as long as you don't ask me for money, which is respectable, and so I haven't so far. But Mom was a lot more cautious, and she looked at me and was sort of like, are you sure you want to do this? But the way I sold it was, you know, I kind of said, look, I went straight from school to a job, you know, at the UN, and then straight from there to a hedge fund. And it was like constantly working, and there was a need for me to have some sort of adventure. Wow. So I said, even if it completely crashes and burns, at least for a little while, I get an adventure. Yeah, and so that was the right way to sell it to her. So see, this is the thing, is I grew up in a family with 2 lawyers, so you have to justify what you eat for dinner. So I've gotten pretty good at it after 24 years or whatever it was at the time. You know,
That's amazing. Yeah. So you took a totally huge risk, and it paid off. Well, how did you guys hook up with Ollie? Can I call you Ollie? Is that okay? Okay.
He's a shy Englishman.
Well, these guys were like playing on the street that I grew up on in London. And I just came past on my bicycle one day, and I saw them playing, obviously, violin and guitar, and I was blown away. I was playing in another band at the time.
So you're shocked, you were amazed like I was.
Yeah, straight away. When I saw these guys, I was like, yeah, I want to play with these guys. I was playing in another band, but this band was like a folk band. It was like 8 people.
So why didn't you ask me to join the band? I could be the dancer. What was up with that?
Yeah, you could do that.
I would have been a good dancer for the band, no?
Yeah, but we're going to make audition.
Oh, that's true. Just show you my legs first, right?
So yeah, I basically met these guys, and they gave me like 3 weeks to change my life, and told me...
Really?
Yeah, he took me, he basically stole me from my old band.
Wow.
And told me, we're going to Dublin in 3 weeks. If you want to change your life, leave your girlfriend, leave your apartment.
Wow.
Let's go. And then that's like 14 months ago now. So ever since then.
Wow, so are you still single?
No, I left my girlfriend in London, and she's now in Italy, so we're still together.
Okay, I was just going to say there might be a few single girls here tonight. I don't know.
It was actually quite amazing. You have to give a lot of credit to her, because he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to go. And she was like, okay, go, you know, it's cool. And they stuck together.
Wow.
But I was going to say that this was in finance what we used to call a hostile takeover. We took him.
Let me ask you guys a question. You travel all around the world playing. Do your songs and does your music change? For example, Prague has a special vibe to it, a feel that Paris doesn't have, or that LA doesn't have. Does your music change?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Like, when we start in New York, we start like with more like kind of like, I don't know if we can say that, but more like with hipster Brooklyn like kind of approach to play music to people, meaning like,
for example. So you start with that?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And after, like, but every time we travel, like everything is like really imprinted, like depending on the city we travel. Like for example, in Dublin, we wrote the Dublin waltz. The waltz we just like play now. And like basically it's like, cause like when we were there, like so everything is amazing in Dublin. You have business, you have girls, you have everything. Everything is fun. But like after like 1 midnight, 1 a.m., you start to see like a lot of people like homeless, like drug addict and stuff. And then it changed a little bit. And
it's because of the Guinness, yeah.
And the girl.
And the girl.
But he called it Gizness, which
I was wondering, Guinness, business.
But really, this is why.
Bad.
I mean, you know, this city has made an incredible amount of money surrounded by Guinness. You know, I mean,
that's
it's a
amazing.
big tourist attraction.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a humanitarian question. You guys travel all over the world, and I've been following you the last few months. Can you tell me, and in your travels around the world, busking on the streets, do you have some stories or things that have happened as you've been playing on the streets of different cities in the world, of people that you met that have touched your heart, or things that maybe broke your heart? Do you have some? Can you share?
Yeah, I have one. Last week, I was playing waiting for. He was in Italy, and Ollie and I were just playing together. And there was last Friday, I was in Berlin, right down the street from where I live on Warschauer Straße, and there was a man who came up, and I could see by the clothes that he was wearing and by just his attire and his demeanor that he was probably living on the street. And he came up to me while I was just playing by myself and went like this and showed me a 10 euro cent piece and put it in my case.
Wow.
And I stopped playing and I just stood up, and I don't know why in that moment, but I just hugged him.
Wow.
And that meant more to me than anything that had been put in my case before.
Wow.
Because it was sort of like, this is a guy that very clearly needed that 10 cents a lot more than I would have, and yet he felt compelled or moved enough to have put that in the case. And we've seen that all together before, but that was I don't know, in that moment, like it overwhelmed me, because I was kind of by myself. I didn't have these guys or anything, and it was just playing, eyes closed, and then I open up, and there he is. And yeah, that really touched me.
Well, I'm amazed because when I see you guys play on the streets, there's like such a passion that I get more passion seeing you guys play than I do, for example, if I'm going to listen to some fancy LA-produced album from Lady Gaga or someone like that. I feel passion. And yeah, well, I see it in you guys. It's real. And there's something about you guys that's like, I don't know, it connects to people in the audience. Am I right? I think it connected to everybody tonight. Something about them, your story. Is there one special song in this new album that you wrote that's special for you?
Well, he was touching on it, that Dublin Waltz. It was the song that we wrote there, we wrote it for the people in the street.
Yeah.
And we played it tonight. It was the third song that we played. It starts very melancholic, and it's got this kind of, you can feel there's a sadness in both the melody and in the rhythm. It makes you kind of want to waltz. And there's that moment where it picks up and it gets really exciting. It doubles in tempo. And the idea there is that, that we noticed that even though there were a lot of people in Dublin that were sort of down and beaten and broken and kind of not having in the best place in their life, they still had an ability to kind of see the good things in life.
That's amazing
sometimes.
Too, the positivity.
And that's what we rallied around. Was there's something about the Irish spirit in particular that there's a resilience there, that they still love to, even though they're miserable, they love to joke and have fun a little bit.
That's true.
And we tried to capture that in this waltz.
What you were going to say? One question for you. You just came back from your first tour of America now. Chicago, Nashville, where else were you?
New York, Bayfield, where we opened for the band America.
Wow. If you don't know America, America is a legendary band in its own right. Yeah. Can you tell me, is there any particular group or band that you would like to open for?
I'm almost sure those guys they'll agree. It's like Rodrigo and Gabriela.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Well, one day people are going to be begging to open for you guys. They are, yeah. Did you want to ask me something? You want to change the corner, change the microphone for a second?
How do you feel right now?
How do I feel? Well, except for the tape that's sticking against this mascara on my face, I feel pretty good. A little bit hyped up, yeah.
I do.
Ask away.
Yeah.
I tell the truth on Tuesdays, but it's a Thursday, so.
Oh, I was going to wait, what day is it?
You're out of luck. Sorry. No, shoot for it.
I want to know how he asked how you feel right now, but let me make that a little bit more pointed. Knowing all of the adversity that you've overcome, your story is well documented.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now? I mean, you're doing something to me that, we're happy to be here, but people ask us to do stuff a lot. But what kind of moved us was the story. I mean, all three of us, I can say pretty safely, went and told people when they asked, where are you going next weekend or where are you going in a month? Wow. And we said, we're going to be in Prague.
Really?
There were clips of your story that we would say, that we're doing something with this guy. Because your story is moving. I had no idea. Yeah, of course. It's an inspiring story, and what you're trying to do here and what you're trying to do with this show.
Wow.
It's something that, we really want to be involved in. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us to
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
and to, but also it's something quite special and unique.
How do I feel? And I never thought that this night would come. And here I sit before a room full of amazing people whom I can't see for the bright lights, but I can assure you out there. And I can feel the love, and I can feel the energy and the positivity. And really, let me see. How is this? Is this better? There you are. Well, I can see the wrinkles now. Ja, mate vrase. Ježiš Maria. No, I feel, I don't know. I remember 12 years ago when I lost everything, and I promised myself that one day I would find a way back. And when I did, I was going to be the person who encouraged and tried to help anyone, regardless of their race, their religion, their sexuality, their no religion, their nationality. And I never wanted to be the person again who had to say no to someone who was hurting. Well, I was also on the streets of London one time, and we talked about it. I was in North Acton, and I can remember that there was one night, I used to work for a while on the streets of London helping the homeless. And there was one night that I had to, I was feeding the homeless all night. And as I was there, I was ready to leave to go home. It was raining, it was sleeting, it was cold. It was February, maybe at close to 1 o'clock in the morning. And as I was getting ready to go back, I'd been out all night with my backpack full of hot soup and thermoses of tea. I spotted a homeless Italian guy, and I talked to him for a few minutes. He didn't want anything, but he says, you know what? There's somebody across the street. Now check this out. Somebody who has nothing is wanting to help somebody else who has nothing. But if we look in Prague or anywhere else in life, we see many people who have a lot, and they won't lift a finger to help somebody. And that homeless Italian boy said, that person over there needs help more than me. And I walked across the street, and I sat down next to the person. It was raining. It was a blanket covering up this person. I tapped him on the shoulder. They pulled the blanket back off of their face. And when they did, I saw the face of a child on the streets of London in February, 1 o'clock in the morning, homeless. She couldn't have been more than 14 years old, stoned out of her head on black tar heroin. Her teeth were rotted out. I don't think she even realized I was there. And at that point, everything inside of me, everything broke, all the facade, everything melted. I just sat down next to her in the rain and listened to the rain falling. She didn't know I was there even. She was so stoned, but I wanted her to know that somebody cared enough to know that she was there. And I left her some hot tea and soup. I couldn't literally take her off the street to a homeless shelter because in London, you're not allowed to take someone to a homeless shelter if they don't want to go, even though she's a child. And I turned around and I walked off. I got 2 or 3 meters from her, and I looked back. And when I did, I saw a middle-aged man, well-dressed, had a hat on like he'd just come from some opera. Leaned over, I saw money exchanging hands. He picked her up by his arm and took her off into the night. And she was his next trick for the night. She was a 14-year-old whore. And that night, everything in me broke. I don't know if you've ever had to leave a child on the street, but that night, I swore that whatever I did, whatever I had to do to get back to where I was, never again would I be that person that had to walk away and leave. And that's what I want this show to be about. Wherever you watch on YouTube and the live audiences or on YouTube around the world, this show is a show about positivity. It's a show about starting over and finding hope. It's a show about taking risk and saying, you know what? maybe I've got a great 9-to-5 job, but you know what? Am I really happy? Am I really living? And dude, I look at you guys. You guys are more alive than I ever dreamed was possible anybody could be. Wow. Really? So that's the $10 question for your $100 answer, or vice versa. Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you guys one more question. You've been a lot of places around the world. Where is your favorite city to play? Yeah.
Honestly, not because I'm here right now, and it's the 6th time I've been here this year. It's definitely, honestly, my hometown, London.
Really?
First. London first, and then Prague.
Wow.
That's for me.
Wow.
As a violin player, and a classically trained violin player,
Classically trained.
the Prague is really special.
Wow.
There's something about playing, in the streets here that, when I first got here last year, we spent a month here in October last year. So 1 year ago,
Yeah.
we were here. We were living near Florida. We rented an apartment. We were
Wow.
like, yeah, Prague. That was awesome. We made a song called Namnesty Miro, and
Really? You didn't make one about Dolny Michalupi where I live at?
No, not yet. Well, we've never
Okay,
been there.
I don't know what that's
you haven't
about. I don't
invited
know.
us over for champagne yet, so.
Yeah.
But no, but so this city is really special
Wow.
for that, because
Yeah.
when I'm playing sometimes and I close my eyes, especially the first time that I was here, it was like, wait a minute,
Wow.
who has composed and lived here? You think
Yeah.
of some of the greatest composers,
That's true.
classical music guys that I'm supposed to worship when I'm 7 years old and I'm learning their music, and here I am playing. So
That's
that
amazing.
for me is extremely special.
That's amazing.
I found that this city has a lot of, it's probably here, or I love playing in Berlin.
Berlin
That's
as well.
where we live now, and Berlin is really special, but for a totally different reason. There's an energy in that place that's extremely different from Prague. Prague has
Wow.
like this feeling of
Yeah.
history, where
Yeah.
Berlin is new beginnings.
It's true. It's true. New beginnings.
It's an old city that's been practically destroyed and is rebuilding
Yeah.
itself now, and it's sort of like you. It's trying to get back there
Yeah.
to wherever that is.
But man, you guys are really heroes to me, because I was a banker too. I was a mortgage banker. And I also quit my job and moved to London to work with the homeless. And everybody said I was crazy too. But wow, you guys are amazing. Let me ask you one last thing, a favor, if you will.
And for me, it's Prague.
Prague?
Prague, yeah. For
Dolny
sure.
Michalupi?
Huh?
Dolny Michalupi?
No, Prague, and after I would say
Okay.
Milan because my girl lived there. So for sure, Milan.
Do you want to say hello to her tonight? She might watch on YouTube.
Come
No?
on, it's so, man. Hello.
Let me ask you a quick favor. I don't know.
Happy birthday to his grandfather, by the way.
I was literally about to grab. Thank you for making me look bad. Yeah, today is my grandfather's 91st birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
91.
91.
Because that's 91.
And what's amazing about this man is he's sharper than a tack. Like, these guys all met
Yeah.
him last month when we were in the States, and like he's like a teenager, and it's weird.
Wow.
And then there's that testament. He's Irish, so there's that testament to that
Wow.
Irish spirit that I was talking about. There's something about him. It's pretty remarkable.